Good evening, all. How are we? Hope you are well. I'm back with a scrapbook page. And I'm going to be using some leftover products. Because this week is just anything goes week. I haven't particularly got anything that I've showcased this week. It's just been a bit of mishmash of cards that I've made along the way. A lot with other demonstrators when I've joined their classes and what have you. Some from our team meetings, from mystery stamping. So yeah, a little bit of a selection. What a lovely evening it has turned out to be. It's gorgeous here. I've just been out and I've watered the plants because some of the pots were a little dry. While I was away, Dell didn't think to water them, and then I went to them yesterday and suddenly thought, oops, these are rather dry. So yeah, give everything a bit of a water so it'll all be perked up by morning. Some of them were looking a little bit sad. So right, I've got my cup of tea. Hopefully I won't spill it today. Well, this evening. Let's switch cameras. What had I got to tell you? Don't forget we have got the 15% off all the 2025 to 2027 in colours. That starts on the 5th of August and runs to the end of August. So if there's any of that you want to stock up on, then's the time. I got to see the upcoming winter catalogue, which was very exciting. I've just had another quick browsey through and shortened my list a little bit. So what I've pulled out are these bits, and these are leftovers from the Making Memories kit, scrapbook kit, not the workshop kit, the actual box kits that we do. And there's quite a lot left. So I've got numerous titles: Memories, The Best, The Story, On This Day, Smile, Love, Happy, Remember. Then we've got some flowers, which flowers are always good, aren't they? You can always put together a page with flowers. Got some tags. And we've got some journaling pieces, some strawberries, a heart, another little tag, some foliage stickers that we'd still got left. That's another little tag. Some more flowers. Just trying to sort it out a little bit so we can see what we've got. A lot of these are offcuts, so these are tags and banners. Journaling pieces. There's another larger banner there. Some more tags. More banners. A frame. Then we've got quite a few of these little cards left. We've got those, and there. Oh, some of the flower. These are just some offcuts, but then we do have all of these stripes as well that we can cut up and use. So yeah, so I thought we'll just use what we've got, or use some of what we've got to create a page. Now I am thinking, oops, pop some of these out of the way. Of flowers, which is probably quite obvious, being as I've got quite a lot of flowers left. Just putting them in the piles just out of the way. And we could always add a strawberry on if we wanted. But we've got all of these. which are really pretty. I'm quite liking this one to begin with. So I'm going to base my page around this one first. And then if we use any of the others, that's okay. If we don't, no worries. I'm going to have some foliage for it as well, but we can grab those after. I could do a couple of cards. I might say if I do a sister page, I might save that for that. That's kind of nice. And oh, that one actually, because that'll bring in that green. And then we could have a green and a yellow, maybe. And then maybe checks. Well, I'm not saying I'm going to use 2 on each. But just trying to see what goes, which we like the best. Those over there. Right, so I'm going to grab me a piece of basic white. I know I tend to use a lot of basic white bases, but I like having... Hi Lisa, I'm Vicky. Hi Carol. You're on the train again. Oh, going or coming back home? You are a bit of a jet setter, aren't you? And I think I might. I do like that with that, but I need to carry something over to the other. Suppose we could use that on the other side. That doesn't look right. No, that's definitely with that one. You're going to Bristol. Oh, how exciting. I'll have a lovely time. All right, we've got these strips. And I'm kind of thinking of bringing in this stripe that's got the cloud cover, because that'll tie in with this a little bit. And then for this, if I bring that in, that's quite bold, but then this one will tie in a bit more subtle. All right, let's trim this, because that's got a bit of the other one on. I'll trim that off, and then we'll trim that down. And we can go with that, which brings them, and I might do a bit of that on there. We'll see. Maybe that'd look nice on there, actually. Right. See, and that's the crafter's prerogative. We change our mind. Oh, your youngest daughter lives there. Oh, right. How nice. Do you know, it's a place I've never been. I drove past it very often when I drive down to Somerset. But I've never stopped. I hear it's fantastic and it's got a brilliant atmosphere, but yeah, never been. All right, so I'm kind of thinking I don't want all of that and all of that. I'm liking those two and that, and then we want a photo on there, and I'm kind of thinking a 4x4. Why I'm thinking 4x4, I don't know, but that's where my head's going. So I'm going to cut me a 4x4 piece that I can use as my photo or pretend photo. Okay, so that I know I've got that somewhere there. See, I like that. Just very plain, very simple. But we are going to do a bit more than that. I'm wondering about, if we lift that, I'm going something like that. Like that. And then we can have a title. Memories, remember, happy, love, wrong colour. We could have smile because it'll bring the pink out. On this day, I think the story. I like the green. And then that pink's just not making too much of it. Or we could just go remember and then the story, or on this day on the next one. Quite like that, actually. Just been catching up on, oh, fabulous. Did you like them? I hope so. Yeah, I must admit, doing a bit of a anything goes. Put me in a bit of a, oh, what am I going to do when I came to planning for, or lack of planning for the lives, because I don't particularly plan them until I sit down like 10 minutes before. I'm like, right, what am I going to do? Yeah, I'm going to pop that onto the other one to use, so we can have a tag on the other one. Right, I think I'm liking the remember and that, so I'm going to want something around here. And for that, I'm going to use a flip flop. Yes, you did. We'll try them yourself when you get home. Oh, excellent. And do share. Yeah, they're a nice card, aren't they? They're just something a little bit different. Can't take credit for it. It was done during mystery stamping. So that will either be Louise at Stampin' Delight or Pip of Queen Pip cards. I'm going to use a flip flap on here for these, and that'll look quite nice. Right, let's get some of this stuck down. Actually, if I've got a stamp similar to this, a flower, I could do some flowers or some splodges. Let me have a look what I've got, because I've got the stamp set from the month by month retreat. It's got some splodges and it's got some flowers that aren't exact, but you know, they would go. I quite like some of those. So let's grab some flowers and some splodges. Splodges, splatters, whichever you like to call it. Right, so that's a bit big. I'll have that one on there. And then I'll have a couple of smaller ones. There we go. For that. Okay, so colours, we've got Darling Duckling. So let me just grab a Darling Duckling. You two, where do you get the flip-flops from? Stampin' Up. I think they're in the catalogue. Let me have a look. Under what would it be? Memory keeping. Yeah, flip flops. Page 74. They're here. Down here. They do 3x3, 3x4, and it gives you both orientations. 4x4 and 4x6, both orientations. I didn't get the 3x3. I very rarely cut my photos to 3x3, but I have the others. And they're great because you can get more photos on a page without taking up excess room. And also, if you've got some journaling but you don't want everyone to see, you can pop it in there. But you get 12 in each pack, and the smaller sizes are £6.25, and then the larger ones are 12 again, but it's £7 for those, so it's just a little bit dearer, obviously, because they're bigger. Right, so we're going to have some Darling Duckling, Lost Lagoon. That's okay. I miss lots of things, Carol, in the catalogue. I think because there is so much, you look and you lose things, don't you? And especially like them, they're just little illustrations. They're not a big picture. They get passed by. And we will have cloud cover. Okay. Right, so I'm going to do a large flower. Yeah, large flower in Darling Duckling. I'm hoping this will stamp okay. Direct onto my, it should do. And I'm just going to add one there. So that will peek out. And we'll add one down here. So that can peek. And then that'll make a threesome with the large die cut. And just give that a clean. I have started using my chamois rather than my scrub for when I'm live, just because it takes up less room and it's a little bit easier. Okay, Lost Lagoon, I'm going to go with our little flower. And we'll just have a couple of those roundabout. That one might not end up being seen there, actually. Oh, it will. That'll just peek out. I love Lost Lagoon. It is my favourite, or one of my favourite colours. And then cloud cover for splotches. I'll just add some of those round about. And going down here, just to ground things a little bit. There we go. I like that. I like little splotches. Right, I think that is enough. So I'm not doing loads of stamping, just a little. Oh, yeah, I quite like that. Right, let's go for it. Let's start sticking things down. Let's see how it ends up. I love this kit. I've done quite a lot with it, with the leftovers. You certainly get plenty. I'm just going to move that up a bit so that that flower is just sticking above. Right. And then we'll add a flowery piece. I'm going to put that slightly above the centre, like so. You don't have to centre everything. Things can be in different places. Alright, so are we going to go yellow with green or green with yellow? I think green with yellow, and that way round. Right, so if I stick this one, and I'm not going to glue right to the edges again because I might want to just tuck something in behind. And bring that one down so you can just see that poking out. Oh, excuse me. So how long are you going for, Carol? Long weekend? Have you got anything exciting planned? Alright. So if I bring my photo in, which will be there. Now I need to add my flip flap. And give it a good crease so it lies flat. Get rid of that that's got that much static. It won't let go. Okay, so I want that where that is. I don't want to go any higher. There we go. We can pop that down. Not sure that's very straight, to be honest. What? Because the whole of the page is wonky, we'll get away with it. Alright, so I'm just going to pop this on with a glue dot so that I can remove it. We came home Tuesday morning. Oh yes, look at the house. They are, but oh, very nice. Oh, how exciting, move home. I'm just going to pop that on about there because I think that's, no, it needs to be a bit higher so that it comes to where the one inside would come. Not doing very well at this, gosh. It's a good thing about putting it on a glue dot, you can keep moving it. There we go, that's about right. And I have got in here somewhere, there we go, I've got a bag of photo mats and stuff from other things. So I can pop that in there and I'll be able to put 2 photos in there, one each side. And then that'll be under there. So I'll have 3 photos on here in the space of one, which will be nice. I want to put my flower on there and I'm going to use dimensionals. I know you don't really get the benefit much of using dimensionals on a scrapbook page, but I think it does just give it that little bit extra. And we can, so we will. Okay, I'll just take the backs off here. Dell's work have had a massive job in that they've all been, or say all, the majority of them have been working 12 hours a day to get it done. It's coming to an end now, so they've told them they're cutting the overtime down a little bit because there's no need for them all to be doing that many hours, which is nice. He'll be at home a bit more, but he's just told me he's booked Monday, Tuesday off next week. So that'll be nice. So we're gonna do a bit of gardening Saturday, get the garden looking something like again, because it hasn't been touched for a few weeks. It just needs some tidying, some weeding on the top patio, and then we're gonna have a nice couple of days hopefully next week. I know we've got to pop to IKEA. Hayden needs a new mattress. We've purchased a bed for him because he's decided he wants a double bed now. So we've purchased that and we're going to IKEA to go and fetch a mattress. So that'll be an exciting day out Tuesday. No doubt cost a fortune because I don't know if you're the same. You go to IKEA for one thing and end up spending an absolute fortune. All right, so I just want to add a few little embellishments on this. So what have I got that's of similar colours? So I've got those are Daffodil Delight, Pretty Peacock and something. Some pink, I can't remember. Which, to be honest, they don't look majorly wrong. Because there is a darker in here. So it will go. So we've got those. Or we could have a bit pinky. I've got these that have got Lost Lagoon, Lemon Lolly in there. And a pink, which I think is Bubble Bath. Which again, I don't think that would look out of place. You've only been to IKEA once. Oh, you haven't got any in cut. Oh no. Oh, you don't know what you're missing. Don't worry, you're saving lots of money. Oh dear. Yeah. I think I'm going to go with these. Even though they're not exactly the right colours, they're tonal. So we can get away with them. Right. I like to use 30 pick tool for these. Now we have got different sizes. So for this one, I'm going to grab. Oh, I don't want it. I'll have it with that one. For the Pretty Peacock, I'm going to go for a small one. All right. And let's add these. Just a dot of glue. That'll go on there. No, Lisa, you don't want to be putting your glue on. Picking it up with my glue instead of my take your pick tool. And then this one right here. Oh, I do find these small ones struggle to stick sometimes. For trouble to come off more so than stick. And then we'll have another trio down here, and we'll go for a yellow. Quite like the yellow down there. A pink, well, it's Daffodil Delight, one of the pinks. It's terrible, isn't it, to not know. And a small pretty peacock. Well, it's a medium sized actually. We've gone on that one. Okay. I just can't remember what colour they are. It is quite likely that they're bubble bath. I'm not 100%. I'm going to stick that one up there. There we go. Pop the lid on that and pop the lid on those so we don't lose any. And there is our first page. I really like that. It's kind of cute. Alright, so our second page, we've got time for another one. Right, so I've got these pieces that I wanted to use that are, I need to trim that of a similar to coincide with it, or coordinate with it, better word. And then I'm going to have journaling on here. I think I'm going to put again our two up there. I'm going to make that a pocket to add that in. Thank you, Carol. We can pop the pocket on there. Then we can have, what had we got? Remember. And then if I trim that, that'll be the story. And I want a different size photo, or a couple of photos. Could have two smaller ones, couldn't we? Have I got another 3x4? Got lots of 3x3 and 4x6. Oh, there we go. I just keep reusing these. When I've done, I've put a photo on, I take them off. So we could have those of a similar like that. That's bugging me, even though it doesn't matter because it'll come up. Okay. And then what journaling pieces have we got on here? They're squares, aren't they? I think I'm just going to add my own journaling piece. So I'm going to use another flip flap. I'll use a 3x4 this time. Oh, in fact, I've got that for my journaling, haven't I? Of course I have. Yeah, so I don't need a flip flap on here. We've got our hidden journaling that'll be in there. So I want another piece to go alongside this. And I'm kind of thinking, don't more stripes. Could get away with the yellow, because even though it's stripes, it's more dotty. So let's trim that one. And I need to trim a tiny bit off that, because I didn't edge it exactly. Let's go to there. There we go. Right. Thinking the yellow there. Just there. And then we can add, don't want a banner, oil another time, and then we can add some of these flowers that are just bringing the flowers from the border. And I might even do up this stripe somewhat. Yellow, pink, blue, a yellow and a pink. But we need to lose one because we don't want even numbers. Just up there to create our own kind of border. So let's stick those because I do like those. Oh, I'm going to want to do some stamping again. So we need to follow it through. But I don't want any flowers over there because I've got those flowers. So we can stick these on. My thought processes are all very here and there. There isn't a strict way that I create. I create exactly the same way when I'm on my own. I talk to myself and I say, yeah, that one would be better there, or if I put that one there. And very often Dell will turn around to me and say, what do you say? And I'm like, nothing, I'm talking to myself. But yeah, there is no method in my process. It's just a bit go for it and hope for the best. Right, so I'm going to add these, some on dimensionals, some not. So we'll put this large one on dimensionals. Put these on here so I keep turning around. It's hurting my back a little bit. And then I'll just have that one flat. Right, I look it. I'll go pink. I'll have that one on dimensionals again. So it's the darker ones that are going on dimensionals, which is okay. Rather that than like every other one. I'm going to go with the pink, not the yellow. So that we're bringing in just that little bit of extra pink. There we go. Right, now this is where we're going to want to do some stamping. First of all, Darling Duckling for our large flowers. And I want one there. And then one there. I'll clean that in a moment. I'm not going to need it again. Right, Lost Lagoon for our small flower. I'll have one right next to it there. The other one over there. And then again, this one here. I'm not going to pop anything down by the heading on here. And then we'll have cloud cover for our splodges. And just bring all those together. Okay. Right. So let's pop this one down. I'm going to just go like so. Excuse me. Now, do I raise it up to make it a raised pocket, or do I just keep it a flat pocket? but then that will slide in and out of. I think we'll make it raised. So I will use these. So I've using all my dimensionals. I'll use the foam strips. These are fabulous for this. So both sides, we can just trim that off. I don't usually use these scissors for sticky, but my sticky scissors are in a bag somewhere. So it's got to be my snips. Okay, and we'll just add a piece across there. Right, now I need to add another piece, because if I pop that in there, it's just going to fall right the way down. So I need a piece so that it doesn't go any further than there. I will add, can't see that bit there. I'll cut another little bit, and this will stop it from sagging in the middle as well. Another little bit there. That's it. And I will just put, oops, piece across there. There we go. Alright, push that down, take these off. Something I might add to that, or the one that I didn't, but we'll see, some foliage. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, it's gone quite warm in here. I've had the door open all day again. Right, so I'll just pop that like so. I just want it up a bit. I don't want that too far under the flower. That's it. So we'll go about there. Yeah. Okay, so we've got that there with our pocket that we can journal on. Then our photos, I need a glue dot. And pop that one like so, and then this one on the glue dot again, and that will go on the front of there. Okay, like that. Alright, we'll stick out the story. I'm just going to pop that square up there. Right, some bling, where have we put them? Here. Right, I'll have the same again, same sort. Can't get the lid off. There we go. Again, I'm going to go for the smaller of the Pretty Peacock and the larger of the others. Let's find a smaller Pretty Peacock. There's a medium one. I think, I'm not quite sure, maybe they don't need to be so far out. Up with that. You know, sometimes when you're just there forever messing. That'll do. Oh, okay. Right. Come on, glue. I don't want to squeeze too hard because I know I'll just get a massive blob. There we go. A tiny blob there for that. Hey, and then I don't want it to interfere with that. Oh, I'm gonna go here. No, not, because that's too much in line. There we go. Go there. That's it, because then it's on the corner of there. Right, so 3 again. A small pretty peacock, which I like there. A medium pink. Or a large pink. No, we'll go medium pink. Medium yellow. Oh gosh, we can have those two together like so. It's one of the things I struggle most with is embellishment placement. Sometimes I just find it really difficult to know where to put the next one. Okay, right, so I'm going to bring the other one back in and just see if I do want to put any of them foliage stickers, because we've got quite a few. I don't have to put them on, but I just thought, you know, it might be nice to have a bit of foliage. Under there, or some cloud cover ones. I don't know if I do, you know. I think it might just be a little bit too much. So I'm happy with that one. This one is a little bit plainer, but again, I don't think it's needed at all. No, I'm not going to do it. Right, I want some twine or some ribbon. I've got Darling Duckling that can be put on there, or cloud cover. I think we've had enough cloud cover, haven't we, on there? Got quite a lot. I haven't got Pretty Peacock. I can colour some Pretty Peacock. On the pink, I could colour pink. What do we reckon? I haven't got Lost Lagoon, otherwise that could look quite nice. Just wondering if the Darling Duckling will be a little bit too much. Oh no, that'd be okay. And then if I do some white twine around it, I'll chop that and just pick that up because of the cats. I'll pull this out. Pokey tool. And then I can just pop that through. And try not to fray it. Okay. Like that. And then if I grab some white twine, we've all got white twine. It's just a staple of a craft room, isn't it? And just chop some of that off. Find it easier. I'm just going to wrap white twine round, do a knot and a bow. So I'll hold that because I like it to pull it tight so it gives some ruffle to the ribbon. I've noticed lately I've stopped with my tongue when I'm concentrating. I'm biting my lip. Never done it before. There we go. How pretty is that? Gorgeous. Right, that is it. Our 2 pages created with some leftover scraps. Let's pop some of this away so that we can have a bit of room to have a look at what we've got. Got quite a few bits left over still. Could do at least another single page, if not a double page, to be honest, because I've got the tags. What I might do is use the rest to make some cards or something. Right, so that's that. I'll pop that away. Like I say, it just gives us a little bit of extra room. And push those out the way. And the inks, rubbish in the bin. And there we go. So we've got our 2 pages. But you can't see very well because I haven't got enough room. I wonder if it'd be better that way. Cover up a bit of that. There we go. That's a bit better, isn't it? You can see. Oh yeah. I don't think they're too bad. Just out of leftovers. Really quick and easy. Loving the flip-flaps. And like I say, it's a great way of getting more on your page without filling it up with stuff. You've got more photos. I quite like sparse pages. I like lots of white space. I like my main points, a bit of stamping, and then yeah, lots of white space. Thank you, Carol. But you know, it's very often we've got more than just one photo, so that just takes up the space of one photo, but we can have 3. Right, so let's switch cameras and I will come to say goodbye. Thank you very much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed that. I will get these photographs and get this downloaded and up onto YouTube. And I will see you all again next week. I hope you have a lovely weekend. Have great fun, Carol. New house looking. I know it's not for yourself, but you know, it's all exciting, isn't it? I always tend to go around people's houses who've bought new houses or thinking, I'm like, oh, what would I do there? What could I do? And I've got no intention of moving whatsoever, but you know, I like to look and think. But yeah, thanks very much, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.